Action also creates clarity. Momentum comes from movement, not thinking. You don't discover the perfect plan sitting still. You stumble into it while you're moving forward. Or hell, maybe even just moving, period. Perfect plan is never delivered to you ready to go. Hell, AI is a perfect example. AI can't get the job done. AI can get you 80% there, but you still got to do that last 20. Or at least that's the way I look at it. This practice, this podcast, I never knew what any of this was going to look like when I started. But it's all going pretty well because I've been stumbling forward. None of this has been smooth. Times have been smoother than others, but it's all taken action just to get me here. Welcome to DFW Grit. I'm Dr. James Taylor and I'm your host, and this is more than just a podcast. We dive into the stories of the movers, the shakers, the small business owners, the entrepreneurs, right here in the DFW Metroplex. This is your home for authentic, real stories that prove what happens when you don't back down. Let's get to work. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Dr. Taylor, welcome back to another episode of DFW Grit. As always, I'm your host, and I want to get right into it today. You don't need any more advice. You just need to get to work. Now, I'm saying that for you as much as I'm saying it for myself, but we all need to hear it. We just, please get to work. Just start doing something, anything. Because we are living in an age where it is so easy to get advice, to get input, to get anything you want, except for the work to be done. Because that's the stuff that falls on us. That's the stuff that falls on me. That's the stuff that falls on you. And that's the hard part to do it. The first step is the hardest step to take. 0 to 1 is easier than 1 to 100. But we're all looking for advice. What's the best way to do this? Which way should I go? And we'll get stuff from everywhere. And then we have all of our options out in front of us. And we spend time analyzing it. Please get to work. Now, if that stings a little bit, you said to the mirror, if that stings a little bit, good. It should. It really should. Because like I said, we all need to hear it. So there are numerous times that I've reached out for advice to many people over the years. And then after I got done reaching out for advice, I reached out again and I reached out again. Actually, the impetus for this episode was I had a coaching call this last week. And one of the things I said, and as the words fell out of my mouth, I'm like, shit. Hey, I know I've asked you this before. I know you've covered this already, but I'm going to ask again. Damn it. I knew the answer. You know why? Because I've been told it before, because I asked that same question before. But what did I not do? I didn't act on it. So why did I ask the question again? I'm not entirely sure about that part. But like I said, as the words were just falling out of my face, I already knew the answer to it. I mean, we've all got collections of books and seminar notes and stuff we've written down time and time again that we're just failing to act on. In the grand scheme of things, like in this current moment in time, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find the guy that started this whole thing back in 2014. That guy just went out and did stuff just all the time. He was just doing stuff, just throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like there's a time when I started this thing, I literally went door to door. From a chiropractic standpoint, from a chiropractic business standpoint, just knock on the door. Hey, I'm a new chiropractor in town. You ever need me? Here's my card. Boom, next door. And I had a map of the town and I had a black Sharpie. And then as I finished a street, I would black out that street. I don't think any of those people ever came in. But it was action. It was stuff I was doing. So like people binge on books, podcasts, seminars. And in the grand scheme of things, eventually that stuff, that becomes procrastination. Let me listen to one more episode. Ooh, this title, This title looks really good. I should hear this. The cover of this book looks really sharp. I should read this. You don't have an information problem, you have an action problem. Like I said, we have access to all the information we could ever want. How many entrepreneurs do you know who are full of ideas that are this close to being ready? I got to do this one more thing. I got to figure this paragraph out. I got to figure out these words. I got to figure out this one part of this action step before I can take the action. You know, at least one. I'm that guy. I do it all the time. And I'm sure you do too. We want to get it just right before we put it out there. Just right to decrease the chance of failure. Which, I mean, in modern times, if you will, that makes sense simply because everything we do is out there. We post everything. So we don't want to post failure. I don't want to post failure. I'm sure you probably don't either. But failure can be the best way to learn. Who put this? Why is this mirror just sitting in front of me? This is ridiculous. Absolute ridiculousness. But again, we got to fail to learn. Side note, if you're a guest, you're welcome for your mug. But like I said, I'm trying to find that guy that started this whole thing, that started Aspire Chiropractic. Hell, that started this podcast. Granted, Aspire makes way more than this podcast does. But again, that guy didn't give a shit. And in a large sense, I still don't, but in a large sense, I also do. Like a bunch. But that kid in 2014, that guy was fearless. He was awesome. I liked him. I like this guy too. Don't get me wrong. Execution trumps education. How about that transition? Execution trumps education 100% of the time. Always. The guy who tries and fails over and over and over again will learn more than the guy who tries to read about it. Point blank, period. Knowledge only becomes power when it's paired with execution. Another book isn't going to fix your business. Another $47 course, mirrors right in front of me. Another $47 course isn't going to fix your business. Another podcast episode isn't going to fix your business. None of these things are going to make you money, but doing the thing will. It's a pretty mirror. Now, if you're listening to this, you already have plenty of knowledge. I'm going to assume if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably in your 30s, 40s, maybe early 50s. You've lived a bit. You failed a bit. Hopefully, you've succeeded a bit. But in all those things, I hope you learned a bit. Odds are you have the knowledge. Weird statement. Why are you trying to get more? Not that you shouldn't be getting more, but why are you trying to get more under the guise of, oh, this is just the first step in me taking action? You've lived. You've done stuff. Probably done well at stuff. Just go do that again. Do that some more. Oh, but times are different. Yeah, they are. So the stuff that used to work before might not work again. And you have to find it out. Might have to fail, might have to learn. But you're learning through action because action trumps education every single time. Action also creates clarity. Momentum comes from movement, not thinking. You don't discover the perfect plan sitting still. You stumble into it while you're moving forward. Or hell, maybe even just moving, period. Perfect plan is never delivered to you ready to go. Hell, AI is a perfect example. AI can't get the job done. AI can get you 80% there, but you still got to do that last 20. Or at least that's the way I look at it. This practice, this podcast, I never knew what any of this was going to look like when I started. But it's all going pretty well because I've been stumbling forward. None of this has been smooth. Times have been smoother than others, but it's all taken action just to get me here. If I was still just looking at the business plan I put together in chiropractic school, I'd be broke. And I'll tell you right now, the business plan did not have going door to door in it. So It comes back to accountability, right? You need to be accountable to yourself. You need to promise yourself that you're going to do the damn thing. You're going to stop reading about it, you're going to stop writing about it, you're going to stop learning about it. You're going to go out and do it. Can you look at the mirror? Mirror keeps coming up. Can you look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say you did work? What's the easiest way to judge that? What's the easiest way to do that? You don't need advice to answer that question. You already know if it worked or if it didn't. So what I want you to do is just grade yourself. And it's a one question test. Did you do some work today? Did you take some action today? It's a pass fail class. It's that simple. So pick one thing you've been planning, waiting on, or looking for advice on, possibly over and over and over again, and just go do it. Go do it and see what happens, or do the first part of it. Put out the podcast, shoot, set up the profile, do it, and just get it started. Because again, that 0 to 1 is always harder than 1 to 100. The first step is the hardest one, but just take the first step. But do it quick, like do it within the next 24, 48 hours, and just see what happens. Did it move the needle? If it did, do it again. If it didn't, cool. Now you know. So in the next 48 hours, like I said, you don't need more advice. Just please get to work. Make something happen. Anything. Don't care about the result. Just care about the action itself. And then when you do, shoot me a message. Shoot me a DM. Let me know how it went. This should be fun. I'm actually going to go do that right now. As always, you guys, like, share, follow. I hope you got a little something out of this. Worst case scenario, I hope you got a mirror. And look at yourself at the end of the day and just say, hey, did I do some work today? Did I make the needle move? I hope your answer is yes. I'll catch you guys on the next episode of DFW Grit. We'll see you later.